Hello, dear students. I hope you are enjoying the summaries of the poems and the prose. Without taking too much of time, let me give the summary of two stories about flying, part 1.
Introduction to two stories about flying. This imaginary story conveys the message that one acquires by taking courage and not by sitting idle. Everyone feels like a fish out of water whenever they are confronted with new situation. Here, a young seagull is fed lovingly by his parents. His parents try many tricks to teach him to fly. But he is so chicken-hearted, very afraid/cowardly, that he refuses to fly. At last, his mother tempts him with food in her beak. She only flies near his ledge, a projecting ridge on a mountain, but does not feed him. In order to get food, the hungry seagull comes to the edge of the rock and falls from it. At first, he is terrified, but then he opens his wings and starts flying. He is happy to note that he did not fall in the sea. The theme of the story. His first flight is a story of hesitation, trial, and error, and finally getting success in the end. It is an interesting story of a hesitant and timid seagull learning the art of flying. His diving at the fish due to hunger proved a blessing in disguise. The author gives a message that no one attains success instantly. Repeated trials and errors lead him to success. Summary: two stories about flying. The story has a seagull and his parents and brothers and sister. In their early stage, they are fed by the parents. Now the time has come when he must learn how to fly. His two elder brothers and a little sister are head and shoulder above and have already learned how to fly by emulating their parents. They have simply run to the brink of the ledge, flap their wings and fly. Two stories about flying. But when the young seagull comes to the brink and tries to fly in the air, his blood runs cold, feels shocked or scared, as he senses that he would fall into the sea below. So he runs back to his hole on the ledge and buries his head in sand, refused to face any situation by pretending that a situation does not exist. The seagull's parents come to take him, but he refused to fly. They threaten that he would starve on the ledge. The seagull has not eaten anything for last 24 hours. He sees his mother eating a fish on a plateau. This sight increases his hunger. He requested his mother to bring him some food. The mother looks at him derisively. She makes a plan and picks up a piece of fish and flies towards him. The mother does not come too close to him. She halts her wings and becomes motionless. Two stories about flying. The seagull wants her to come near him. He cannot bear it any longer. As he is maddened by hunger, he dives at the fish. He cannot reach his mother and falls from the ledge downwards into space. He feels like a deer caught in the headlights. He is filled with fear. But this fear lasted only a minute. He spreads his wings and tries to fly. Suddenly he finds that he is flying. He cries with joy and starts flying higher and higher. His parents, brothers, and sister fly around him and scream with joy. After some time, the seagull's parents, brothers, and sister landed on the sea. They ask him to come there. The seagull thought that it is green flooring. He drops his legs to stand on the green sea. But his legs sink into it and he cries with fear. But his belly touched the water and he does not drown down his belly. Two stories about flying. He begins to float on the sea. His family members praise him and gives him pieces of fish to eat. This teaching gives him a swollen head, become proud/conceited because of a recent success. Thus, the seagull has made his first flight. Main characters. L. Young seagull, afraid to fly. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already learned the art of flying only the day before. He did not try. He had taken a little run forward and tried to flap his wings. But that was all he could do. His parents advised him to keep a level head, remain calm and sensible. He became afraid. He felt that his wings would not support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole where he slept. 2 stories about flying. He failed to muster up courage to fly. His parents taunted, scolded, and threatened him to leave him starving at the ledge unless he flew away. But nothing could make him fly. When he flew for some time, he saw his elders resting on the sea surface. Earlier, he thought the sea surface to be solid. When he thought he was sinking, all his family members were near him. Main points of the story: 2 stories about flying. It is about a young seagull. He was sitting alone on his ledge because his family members were resting on the opposite side of the ledge. 2. His 2 brothers and his sister had already learned how to fly a day before. 2 stories about flying. 3. The young seagull was hesitant and afraid of flying because he thought that his wings would not support him. 4. His parents, brothers, and sister regularly taunted him for his cowardice. 5. Earlier, he was fed by his mother, and that time too he was expecting the same. 6. He saw his mother holding a piece of fish in her beak. 7. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. 8. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. 9. His wings were cutting through the air and he was not falling headlong now. 2 stories about flying. 10. Then he completely forgot that he had never flown before. 11. He was flying over the sea. Ultimately he grasped the skill of flying. 12. Earlier he completely afraid of the sea. He felt he was going to die that day. Just to save himself, a reciprocal action done by him proved that he was a brave bird. 13. He was floating on the sea and his family was praising him, offering him pieces of fish. 14. The visual imagery of this lesson is very vivid and lucid.
Thank you, dear children. I hope you understood the main concept of the lesson.